What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to a new week. I've got the Bitcoin price chart pulled up right in front of us. It has been a wild and wacky morning to start out the week, to say the least. So we'll kind of dive into the price charts. Really, there's not a whole lot different from what we were talking about last week. Prices have just kind of stayed where they're at for the last several days, but this morning we're clearly getting some price action. So let's see what's going on here. If you've been following the prices throughout the morning, the market was actually red earlier in the morning, but then suddenly there was this big pop up and everything went really green, including Litecoin, which ended up rising about 37% in just over 15 minutes. Bitcoin followed along as well and rose up almost 5%, but as you can see, it's all turned over on itself. So what has happened this morning? Earlier this morning, it was reported by Zero Hedge that Walmart announces major partnership with Litecoin, where Walmart is set to accept Litecoin starting on October 1st. Started plowing through the internet to see if I could confirm that anywhere, which was being reported here on Zero Hedge. It was being reported on Reuters. And over here on CNBC, with Walmart to accept payments with cryptocurrencies using Litecoin. Walmart, the biggest retailer in the US, will accept cryptocurrency for payments from shoppers, the company announced in a press release on Monday. The payments option will utilize Litecoin, which jumped more than 20% Monday in reaction to the news. Even the actual Litecoin Twitter account released this news over here. Walmart announces major partnership with Litecoin. But for some reason, now that tweet has been deleted. Rumors swirling around that the news is actually fake. And while this whole weirdness that happened here with Litecoin and then them actually deleting the tweet is a little bit odd, and well, the prices have responded accordingly with that 37% rise over there and Litecoin being completely wiped out. Bitcoin jumping on that moment as well, losing it all. And well, what a weird way to start out the week. What was once almost suddenly this incredible, awesome news turns into maybe it's not real. And now, Zero Hedge says Walmart says it doesn't have a partnership with Litecoin. So that's how we're going to start the week out this week, guys. In the end, prices are still just kind of holding where they've been since last Tuesday. You guys know last Tuesday was our big sell-off. We had big buy volume that came in and scooped that up right in there. And ever since then, the prices have still just stayed in this zone, really ranging in here, waiting for the market to choose a direction. If it's kind of ABCing for a little bit of a deeper correction, or if it's going to reverse its way back up. Over the weekend, things like Algorand still were able to hold their all-time highs, even pushing a little bit higher. Same goes for Atom or Cosmos, pushing up. But as for what's going on in the chaos today, it's really just a super volatile moment and questionable on what happened there, because you have to think about the narrative of what just came out. You know, whether or not you like Litecoin or you don't like Litecoin, the idea of the largest brick and mortar store in the entire world accepting cryptocurrencies as a payment validated the crypto space in general, right? So huge optimism, whole market lifts up on that news, regardless of if it's just Litecoin or not. And then rug pull, all that gets taken away. And all of this has really happened within the last hour. So definitely one of these kinds of mornings for sure. Another thing of news that happened this morning was about an hour and a half before that occurred, MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor come out and say they've bought more Bitcoin at an average price of $48,099, purchasing 5,050 more Bitcoins. And currently MicroStrategy holds 114,042 Bitcoins. So just a kind of cluster of different kinds of news coming out. The typical stuff from MicroStrategy trying to pump up the Bitcoin maximalist crowd, and then some news to kind of pump up the altcoin market crowd. And well, in the end, just seeing massive volatility happening in the market, and then with prices now being down for the morning, right? So as for whether or not the price action that we're actually seeing happening right now is just temporary due to the chaos of all the liquidity that was going in both different directions, and the market just has to settle, or if there's some type of breakdown in here, I don't really know. Right now, we're looking at the total altcoin market cap, and like we discussed last week, this was the same structure we were seeing back in 2017, backtesting into this area. Whether this is a deeper backtest that's going to be coming in here to really kind of touch down into these areas way down in here, I don't know. We've seen some of these altcoins already break up and not care about that. So like we've been talking about with Algorand and with Cosmos, you know, are we seeing something right here in a miniaturized version of what this whole correction looked like. If you kind of look at what's going on in here, what do you see in here, right? You see crash, you see double bounces, we're seeing sideways, and there's kind of a capitulative moment, and then it's able to go, right? Hard to know. I don't really want to step on my toes and say which one I think it's doing right now at this point because of how much volatility has happened this morning. Were there some type of structural breaks that happened in here? It's always difficult when I'm making the videos in the thick of these moments actually happening when they're happening. And so when moments like this happen, obviously it's just a reflection of what all the craziness is that has happened this morning, right? So I stick to my bigger picture view that I have and just sit back patiently waiting as I'm expecting for the total market cap of all of crypto to end up going on to set another high. The question right now is what's going to happen with prices in the short term, and was there anything structurally that broke? I don't see anything structurally breaking at this point. I just see huge volatility happening in this moment. The thing that is always kind of worrying is that, when you go to bottoms, right? We talk about this a lot, narrative changes and stuff. When prices are at bottoms, what are you being hit with? You're being hit with extremely negative, constant negative news. When prices are higher and people are trying to manipulate prices, trying to manipulate public perception, what do? They hit you with really positive news, right? They want you FOMOing in at higher prices. So are we still in this kind of corrective structure? News narratives would say, yeah, we're still kind of in this corrective structure because we're getting hit with lots of positive news that is turning out to be fake in regards to the Litecoin stuff. So I'm going to keep this video pretty brief because there's just not a lot to say differently that I didn't say all week last week. And whether or not, is it going to get even more volatile throughout the day? I don't know right now. That was kind of a wacky event. So I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to let things kind of just play out for the day. And if a more clearer picture starts to get painted, I'll make a video kind of diving into that. But right now, it's really just kind of saying this has been a weird way to start a week. And then the reality of it is that Bitcoin is still underneath retracement levels. So it has not broken out to anything. It's in just kind of like this no man's land right now without hitting a 702 retracement, without hitting a 786 retracement, and not pinpoint nailing something like it typically does, like we saw happen back in here where we got the absolute perfect nail and like what we had the perfect nail at the end of the 2017 bull run. So we don't have any like beautiful Fibonacci retracement nails yet. It's really more of just like bouncing in no man's land. And when is this thing going to, finish correcting and then take another stab at going for retracement levels? And then will it get rejected from these or will it be able to crack through them? And if not, there's something else to pay attention to as well, is that if we look at Bitcoin and what occurred back in here, right? What do we see? We see 3 new highs getting set. Then you see it break through. You see it goes to a 702 Fibonacci retracement level right in here, and then it breaks down. What do we have happening for Bitcoin in here? You see the 3 new highs getting set in here, the breakdown. Now it's time to watch. So what happened when it came down in this moment? Are we more in here or in here? What's going to happen when Bitcoin comes back into retracement right back up in here? That's going to be something I would be watching as well. But right now, as we're just kind of hanging out in this no man's land, it's just whether or not there's still just a little further to go before it finally starts stabbing back to the upside, or if it just fires out on its own right now. But right now, it really is just a waiting game for me. And in the end, the thing I'm rooting for the most, of course, is for us to go back up and break up to higher highs. And so I'm still sticking with that conviction that that's what's going to happen. That's the way I'm playing my portfolio at this time. There's a lot of things missing in this market that typically happen. We are starting to see some of them unfold, right? Like with altcoins, right? So at the end of the 2013 and 2017 bull runs, all the altcoins went on big raging bull runs. We have a lot of them doing it right now. We know that in previous bull runs as well, some altcoins finish way before others do. So all those things that are in all-time highs and going crazy and doing their stuff, they could end that way before everybody else gets their opportunity to go. So that's a alert to me to see that we do have some altcoins already breaking out into all-time highs. We don't typically have alt seasons unless it's at the end of a Bitcoin bull run. The thing that would be that big alerting thing would be if we have all those laggards, including Litecoin, which hasn't broken out into an all-time high yet. It did touch its all-time high, but it hasn't broken out into one. But once we start seeing all those laggards and XRP as well really setting that all-time high, that would get me to start kind of being a little wishy-washy on what's happening with Bitcoin. But since we haven't had those big alt seasons for a lot of the laggards yet, I still stick with my conviction that Bitcoin's going to find its spot somewhere around here and then it'll start pushing its way back up again. But I show you guys a lot of the things that I look for I pay attention to and I worry about, right? I don't worry about prices when they're already low. When they're already low, I'm like, all right, look, sentiment's pushed too far in one direction. We're going to reverse back to the upside. Let's see what happens when we get back to the retracement levels. And as we can see, we're really struggling up in here in these retracement levels, right? But that's what eventually happens to see things break out and go nuts is once it can finally clear through the retracement levels, the market gets the signals that it needs and things get really wild. But it's not unusual for us to have a lot of fighting that has to happen right back here at these retracement levels. And as Bitcoin is just messing around right in here, I don't really know how there would be really much to say about Bitcoin at this point until it starts doing something that has some type of significant meaning. And for me, that significant meaning would be once we started rolling right back up in here, let's see how we perform in regards to retracement levels that come back in here. Let's make sure we can get through those. And things that would have significant meaning would be things like if XRP started absolutely surging like crazy, if Litecoin broke out into some type of new all-time high. Same goes for Dash, Zcash, Bitcoin Cash, EOS. All of those ones that have been the laggards in the market. But as of right now, as of today, just kind of a wacky, weird morning. And while highly volatile, the total market cap of crypto is still exactly where it was 4 hours ago and 8 hours ago. So just crazy volatility. And we'll see if it has any type of meaning. And if it does, I'll check in with you guys later today to get my thoughts on what's going on in the market. Or I'll catch you guys again tomorrow morning. But in the end, I still just stick with my same view that I think this market still has further to go to the upside, and today's volatility and crazy price action was really just kind of some type of one-off event. But on that note, I'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. Not much to say today. We're just, I actually, I took 2 days off this weekend. That was weird. I've been, at 11 out of 12 days, I was making videos and I actually wasn't feeling too well at the end of last week, but I still just kind of kept pushing through it. And then over there on the weekend, hey, a big milestone for the channel. That's absolutely incredible. Something I just never really imagined would be. I never imagined this is what this would be when I started this channel back in 2019. But hitting 200,000 subscribers over the weekend and all the nice things that you guys had to say regarding that, I'm very appreciative of it. I'm just grateful and honored that I'm in this position, that I have this YouTube channel, and that so many people like to listen to me. So there's still a lot of work that has to be done out here in this cryptocurrency market, but it's just kind of a cool thing to see that. So I'm glad that you guys are subscribed to my channel. I'm glad that you guys watch my channel. Thank you. And before we get too mushy, I'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the day to see if this is signaling anything more to come. But otherwise, for me, it's just kind of sitting back and watching what happens. In the end, doesn't change anything from my big perspective. So all right, I'll wrap it up. If you're looking for something to do, you can check out my website over here. This is bcbacker.com. This is my course that I put together where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs and the different altcoin market cycles, tying them all together to show how the Bitcoin bull runs have worked and the alt seasons have worked in the past. I talk about my personal exit plans in here. I teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators in TradingView and CoinTrader Pro so you can do your own charting. Talk a lot about mathematics and percentages in here and why those things are the most important to me. I also did include a market update in here recently on August 31st that is available to anybody enrolled in the course and anybody who newly enrolls in the course. And you can check out all of this educational content over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker, where I did share that over the weekend where we crossed 200,000. And boy, that was a lot of comments and a lot of nice things in there. I did go through and read all of them. Thank you guys. But all right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.